Nexus Mods, arguably the biggest modding website on the internet. Like, whenever it comes to modding video games, the first place that you go to most likely is Nexus Mods. I feel like if you've modded a video game one way or another, like on PC at least, you've used Nexus Mods. Probably even on console. I'm not sure how like modding with console works. I only mod of when it, like modded games of when it comes to PC. And I've used Nexus Mods for ages now, especially Skyrim. Like Skyrim's mods on Nexus is insane. The catalog on just Skyrim, there is so many mods just for that one game, and then a catalog for all different types of games as well. Like whenever it comes to modding games, the first place a lot of people go to, I would say 90% times people go straight to Nexus Mods. Well, there was actually an announcement that came out where the owner of the website of Nexus Mods, his name is Dark One, he put out an update on the website today talking about how he has actually sold off Nexus Mods. So he first talked about his time at Nexus of when he first started it up. I didn't realize that this like website goes back 24 years. I knew Nexus Mods had been around for ages. I didn't realize it was around for that long. I was actually shell-shocked of like when I saw this. I was like, damn, 24 years this guy's been running Nexus Mods for? That's absolutely fucking insane. And then he also goes on to talk about how much stress it's put on him over the last like few years, I'd say 10 years since it's gotten really popular, which to be honest, that wouldn't surprise me. Like a website this big with that big of a community, the amount of people that, you know, go on Nexus Mods every single day, the amount of mods that get uploaded to that website every single day as well, it would definitely like, you know, put a certain amount of stress, especially doing it for that long of a time. So it doesn't surprise me that he's gone ahead and stepped away from, you know, wanting to manage and own Nexus Mods. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's gone ahead and gotten, you know, a decent amount for this. I would say that the amount of money this man's made off Nexus Mods over the years, and also selling it as well to a company, is that he would have gotten a decent payout for it. And speaking of that, is that underneath this, he also talks about the changes that are coming to Nexus Mods. And he goes on to talk about how the company is, that Nexus Mods is now being owned by a company. So no longer is it being owned by one single person. Obviously there was a whole load of other people that are involved with you know, Nexus Mods, and it being run by like, you know, a whole load of moderators and all that kind of stuff, but it was still owned by one single guy. Right, so it didn't have this company structure that it's going to have going forward now. And obviously when it comes to this, it being going from owned by one single person to now being owned by a company, there's a lot of questions about what's going to happen going forward. And obviously in the statement is that this guy, Dark One, he puts out and says that nothing's really going to change, at least for the certain time, you know, the immediate future. And even one of the new owners of the company actually did like a little bit of a Q&A underneath this, because one of the concerns that a lot of people have going forward with Nexus Mods is the monetization, right? Is that Nexus Mods currently, the only monetization that they have for the website is that you can pay a premium service in order to download mods automatically. So if you wanted to download a mod pack, you have to go ahead and manually download each one of those mods. But if you can't be bothered, and especially if you have like, you know, with some Skyrim mod packs, if you have like 300 mods in one mod pack, sitting there and clicking and downloading every single one is a pain in the ass. So you pay a premium subscription service of where you can, you know, automatically download those mods. I can't remember how much it is per month, but it's like, it's actually not that cheap. It's pretty reasonable, especially if you're modding games all the time and you're using the website a lot. It's a pretty good like monetization system that they have. But this new site owner, he goes ahead and talks about this, about the monetization of the website, in this brief Q&A, where he talks about if he will sell mods, if mods will cost money to download, and if they'll claim ownership of mods uploaded to Nexus Mods, saying no to all of those, but then also talks at the bottom saying what additional monetization will be added and changed onto the website, talking about how, you know, Nexus Mods is very complex, but they want to continue supporting, like, you know, authors and users and all that kind of stuff, and that they don't want to put any no aggressive monetization or paid mods onto the website, but they are trying to aim for fewer ads on the website as well, and still like going with a community first approach. Now, my theory for this, of what they will do going forward, is that similar to other, you know, subscription services and like streaming services, say like Netflix, is that there will be like a tier list of when it comes to the subscription service of Nexus, is that I could see easily like a 3-4 like tier list service of Nexus of when it comes to paid mods, of how many, of when it comes to the paid website, sorry, of how many, mods you can download in a month or whatever it may be. And maybe even with the free service that Nexus has going on right now, is that you can only download a certain amount of mods within a month for the free. And if you want to be able to download unlimited mods, then you have to, pay a subscription service for it. That wouldn't go ahead and surprise me either. So I don't see them doing where they're just straight up locking the website and you have to pay for mods all the time. But I could definitely see some structural monetization service. Now, which way that they will go ahead and do that, of whether, they'll put a cap on how many mods you can download as a free user, or keep free user the same, and then when it comes to the paid subscription service, how they will go ahead and change that. But if you're wanting to remove ads from a website, you're going to have to change your monetization and make it a little bit more aggressive, one way or another. You can't say that you're not going to make the monetization aggressive and then remove more ads. How are you going to make money then? Because ads is where you make a lot of your money on the website. But another concern, well, not really a concern, but another question that a lot of people are having with Nexus mods is the censorship on the website. Because recently, is that, especially with this whole political divide that's been going on in the fucking world, right? Is that Nexus mods has been banning a lot of mods, especially a lot of political mods. And I think it's kind of stupid. One of the infamous ones from recently was where there was a Donald Trump would replace Captain America in Marvel Rivals. And that's funny. I think that's funny. I think whether you like Donald Trump or not, that's funny, okay? Like, that is pretty funny. And that got banned. Like, that was not allowed on the website. And I think Nexus Mods made a statement about it, talking about how they're not allowing political things on the website. But I don't think that's bad, right? But then there's other censorship issues as well, where Nexus Mods, they're allowing mods where you can change characters that are white, then you can change their skin color to black. But then they ban mods where, the character would be black and you change it to white. So it's just like, there's been a lot of, biasy of when it comes to what they ban, and inconsistencies, and they're banning mods that are just kind of like, why would you go ahead and ban that? And unless something is straight, like actual hateful, like it's replacing Super Earth's flag with the German flag from the 1930s and 40s. That I'm like, yeah, ban that. That's absolutely fair enough. But like banning Donald Trump as Captain America, I think that's a bit stupid. I think if people want to go ahead and mod their games, let them do it. And when you ban something like that, all it does is that it goes ahead, it brings like more attention to that mod itself, how you're, banning these mods. And then also other websites will allow it and pick it up, and it will help those modding websites to grow. So this company that's picking up Nexus mods, apparently they're like wanting to focus on, company growth. And if you're wanting to focus on growth, well, I think that banning mods and putting censorship on a lot of your mods it won't help with growth at all. So I think that the best thing that they can do is to going forward, to remove a lot of this censorship. But a lot of people have been talking about it in the comments section of that post. And apparently some of the comments have been locked, and even some of them have been deleted. Some of them are staying up though, but there is still like some inconsistency from what I've seen people say on Twitter, of when it comes to, them allowing some comments and them locking some, and then also deleting some straight up as well. So who knows? I hope that the censorship loosens up a little bit going forward on Nexus, because I definitely think in recent times it's a bit dumb, but I could definitely see some like structural monetization system going forward. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and fucking see about it. But that's going to be it from me. Definitely like to hear what you have to think about all this down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.